I have a new story about Laura Loomer. She's the far-right extremist who now has been for some time in Trump's ear. And recently, the big story that we already covered, not the subject of this, she convinced Trump because these people weren't loyal enough to fire top National Security Council officials. And the National Security Advisor, Mike Waltz, was like, no, don't. And Trump sided with the crazy conspiracy theorist who's so crazy that even Marjorie Taylor Greene says she's too crazy for MAGA. So that was crazy. But I now have for you, Bill Maher said something about her. That video's interesting, and I'll play that for you. And it caused her to lose it so bad that she's suing him over it. So we'll give you all of it. It's a very interesting story. First, to show you them interacting, you can get some context. Here's Trump and Laura Loomer at a lunch during the campaign. If you appreciate this segment, please do click the subscribe button if you're not subscribed already. When we look at our analytics, so many people are watching who are not subscribed. We could just make leaps and bounds if all y'all would subscribe. I appreciate it so much.
Hey everybody, we're here at Bedminster. I'm with the greatest president ever, President Donald Trump, who is killing it right now. There's a new poll out, right? You're crushing it. You're up over 50 points. And it's a beautiful day here. Beautiful club. It's my first time here at Bedminster.
Well, it's great to have you, and you've been really very special. You work hard, and you are a very opinionated lady. I have to tell you that. And in my opinion,
she's so wild that even publicly, Trump has to go, "You're an opinionated lady." Not exactly a compliment.
You are a very opinionated lady. I have to tell you that. And in my opinion, I like that.
Well, I appreciate that.
All of your support, and you've been terrific. And everybody appreciates you. So
yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me to sit with you today. It's a pleasure. You're the best. I love you.
I know it's not just Trump that people do that to, politicians, but it's just such a cringy thing. Hi, I love you. You're the best president in the entire world. And I just wish that everyone would grow up to be like you. And I'm sad they're happy tears because I'm just sitting next to you. You smell a little bit like poopy, but it's okay because I love you. It's kind of weird, you know? It's just bizarre. To me, it's bizarre. I don't know. Well, then she posts this video saying, I'm deposing Bill Maher. Well, I'll let her explain.
There's not going to be Loomer Unleashed this Thursday because I have to travel to Los Angeles, California for a live video deposition with Bill Maher. As you know, Bill Maher is a tremendous Trump hater, and he's also a big Laura Loomer hater. And after I traveled with President Trump to the...
some of you will notice, I don't know, who knows, you know, the sort of thing she's doing after every... I don't know what that is. I don't want to comment. Well, it is kind of distracting. After every sentence, but who knows?
Presidential debate last year, Bill Maher falsely accused me of having sex with President Trump. He said that I was fucking President Trump. Sorry to be vulgar, but those were his words. And his lies were then repeated all over the news. I mean, I'm sure that we can pull up all the different articles now and people can see for themselves. If you type in Bill Maher, Laura Loomer, just type in Bill Maher, Laura Loomer. Laura Loomer sues Bill Maher and HBO over real-time quip. You can go back. There was also like an article in TMZ. Type in Bill Maher, Laura Loomer, TMZ. Bill Maher hit with $150 million lawsuit. Slapped a defamation lawsuit for saying Laura Loomer.
Okay, when you see this actual video, you're going to be so like, oh my gosh. Okay.
Banged Trump. Totally despicable behavior. And what's crazy is that
it's despicable. It's despicable. A comedian made a joke. Oh God.
Lawsuit. Slapped a defamation lawsuit for saying Laura Loomer banged Trump. Totally despicable behavior. And what's crazy is that Bill Maher has since been invited to the White House to meet with President Trump. Kid Rock, I guess, had this idea that he wanted to invite Bill Maher to the White House, and then President Trump said it was acceptable to bring Bill Maher to the White House, even though...
Yeah, okay, so she's not for that, and just all sorts of things going on. So we'll get to this clip, but just to sort of rehash what it is that she was laying out there. Bill Maher Well, first let me. So the reason why he's going to make the joke you're going to hear is because at the time, and I actually denounced this. I'll remind you of that in a little bit. I said let's not baselessly accuse everyone who's around Trump of sleeping with him. Okay, but it was a topic of conversation because she was flying around with him, and so then people were saying, "Oh, what if they're bumping uglies? What if they're knocking boots? What if they're making each other's cookies, Jaden? What else? What if they're I looked up terms for sex. Rearranging the furniture. These are fun. Mating like caffeinated pandas. What? Making the bed aggressively. Anyways, you know what I'm talking about. Sex. They were banging is what the headline said. They weren't, from all we can tell. And I said, let's not baselessly accuse them of that. But comedian's job, like Bill Maher, is to be funny. And so he said this, sort of to be funny.
Here's my question, because Laura Loomer said, Taylor Swift, she believes, is in an arranged relationship with Travis Kelce to influence the 2024 election. I think maybe Laura Loomer's in an arranged relationship to affect the election because she's very close to Trump. She's 31, looks like his type. We did an editorial here a few years ago. You're remembering it already. It was basically, who's Trump fucking? Because I said, it's not nobody. He's been a dog for too long, and it's not Melania. I think we may have our answer this week. I think it might be Laura Loomer. I'm just saying.
So I'll give you more of what he said. But if you're suing someone for defamation, and the thing they said that supposedly defamed you was during a comedy show and caveated by, I think it might on something. He goes, I think it might be Laura Loomer. You're not going to get a successful defamation case off of that, or at least you shouldn't. And what's so interesting is that it's the Loomers, it's the MAGAs who were saying the left was trying to make comedy illegal and they were taking everything so seriously. And now you want $150 million because he joked about something that people were talking about? Now, I'll remind you of what I said and then we'll get back to Bill Maher. I didn't actually think that people should be seriously asserting that because there wasn't evidence. And I think there's something a little bit icky and misogynistic maybe about going, if ever an older, powerful man is hanging out with a younger woman, they must be doing sex to one another. I really want to go on more euphemisms, but I'm not going to. Putting into each other's pudding cups. Whatever. Doing that every single time there's that combination of a younger woman with an older man, just like working together, I think there is something icky about that. Why should we assume that? And there wasn't actually evidence. So I had this to say, even though Loomer's lawsuit is insane, but when this initially was a talking point, have stooped to the level of, without any evidence, pretending like there's an affair going on between Laura Loomer and Trump. And I don't think that's the road you want to go down, because one of the things we don't like about MAGA is that they're constantly pushing conspiracy theories without evidence. Sometimes a narrative just sounds nice, so they'll throw it out there. And some, like this Lincoln Project ad, it's sort of being done in a joking way. Still, that justifies a lot of the, I'm going to be a dictator on day one. A lot of things that people do is justified with sort of, I'm joking. But online, a lot of people, I saw an article from some political publication asserting it, and then when I read through the entire article, it was more of an independent indie sort of publication. It wasn't a major outlet, but there was no evidence cited. It was just, hey, this would make sense because Trump has cheated many times, and because that's totally not beneath him in terms of his morals. But I have a different thing too on this. And then I get into, I think, what I already said. Hello, old me. Good to see you. I think we've made some improvements, but it's fine. It's good. So yeah, you don't want to get in the habit of just going, Oh, we heard a rumor JD Vance had sex with a couch. Oh, my JD Vance couch. Even though it's really funny. But, and similar thing here, but when it's an explicit comedy show, you can't sue him for saying, I think maybe it could be her. Even if I don't love it, it's not defamation. And it's how you get people to laugh in a comedy show. And MAGA said that was their whole thing. You remember Elon? We have to legalize comedy in America. I'm going to legalize comedy. There's no price on freedom for comedy because I am become meme. He was the one who was going to save comedy by not causing legal troubles for people when they make jokes. And now Laura Loomer wants to go after someone for making a joke. Here is more from Bill Maher.
Where is he getting this from? Well, he's got a new bullshit whisperer named Laura Loomer. Of course that's her name. Laura Loomer. There she is.
By the way, whenever she exposes someone, she says, you just got, or something like this, you just got loomered. So that's fun. Isn't that fun?
He's with her everywhere now. For MAGA people, she's like for people who find Marjorie Taylor Greene too intellectual. You name the crazy shit, she believes in it. Birtherism, she's a 9/11 truther, crisis actor, Pizzagate, rigged elections. You've heard of Florida Man? She's Florida Woman. Did you see this? She ate dog food. Am I making that up? You saw that, right? Like a Haitian. No, I'm kidding. But listen to this. Now there's a bitch fight within the Republican Party. I love this because, yes, Marjorie Taylor Greene, the voice of sanity, has come out against Laura Loomer. Says she's too far right. Says she's a racist. Now Loomer has accused Marjorie Taylor Greene. She says Marjorie Taylor Greene is an anti-Semite and she cheats on her husband. And she said, I can't believe I have to report this.
By the way, kids, stop listening. This part's about to get a little bit raunchy. If you thought my euphemisms for sex were raunchy, this gets really raunchy. Loomer said something about Marjorie Greene's no square.
Cheats on her husband, and she said, I can't believe I have to report this. She said her lady parts resemble an Arby's sandwich, which is so offensive to Arby's.
Okay, so you get the point. This really, that's crazy how MAGAs fight each other. Woo! So a MAGA account said, breaking news, Laura Loomer should sue Bill Maher for defamation. This is back when it happened. This is beyond the pale, and it's a complete and blatant lie. I support Laura Loomer. Maher has made a big mistake. And then Laura Loomer took the advice, and she sued him. It's wild. Am I living? What am I trying to say? Am I living? Yeah. In Cuckoo Town? Because we were just having this argument where it was, oh yeah, sometimes people overreact to comedians, but hey, that doesn't mean there can never be a criticism as a comedian. And they were going, you're all just sensitive snowflakes because you can't take a joke. And in this case, he was just doing, you might not like it, but just normal mockery you hear. Oh, he's mocking her. And he's saying, oh, what if they had sex? Sex humor, yay. It's kind of like the most lowest hanging fruit. And now that's what she's suing him over. By the way, a little miscellaneous story. As MAGA's going crazy, people want an alternative. And the Democratic Party right now is not providing that enough. And so what's interesting is people you ordinarily, or at least a lot of Democrats the establishment wouldn't expect to be as popular as they are rising up because they're seen as actually wanting to fight and aggressively articulate some other message. Political Reports poll, AOC leads Schumer in head-to-head New York primary matchup by double digits if AOC were to challenge Schumer in that Senate, for that Senate seat. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is leading Chuck Schumer by double digits in a new head-to-head poll of the 2028 New York primary. The survey by the liberal firm Data for Progress, first shared with Politico, found that 55% of Democratic likely voters said they supported or leaned towards supporting Representative Ocasio-Cortez, while 36% backed or leaned towards backing Senator Schumer. 9% were undecided. So the Democratic Party needs to see this and many other factors as a wake-up call. The party's unpopular. The Chuck Schumers of the world, sort of the old guard leadership, are unpopular, and people want something. They want something new and matching the moment. Because often you'll have this crazy thing happen, and then Schumer comes out and goes, well, we're really gonna make them wish they hadn't done that, and we're gonna really be upset whenever we vote for the funding package. We're gonna fund it, but we're gonna be upset with them for it, okay? And people are upset with that, and they want someone to match the moment. Share your thoughts in the comments. Support the show. If you have a favorite sex euphemism, share it with me. I'd love to know. And you can get the bonus show by clicking that join button below.